Hello everyone, it's Keith Bailey here, coming at you to bring you picks for NFL Week 8. This season is flying, and it always seems to fly. It always seems to go this fast. So enjoy every single game while you still can. Um, Quick recap: I was an idiot last week. I shouldn't have picked Tennessee. I should have picked the Colts, because I was going to pick Tennessee at home against Jacksonville anyways. And why would the Titans win 4 games in a row? They're not there yet. They're not that good. I would have liked them to. But it's not going to happen that way. It's not one of those things where, oh no, you start 1-3, let's win your next 4 winnable games on the schedule. Nah, the NFL doesn't work like that. You're going to drop games that you should win, and you're going to win games you shouldn't win, and then you're going to vice versa. You're going to win games that you should win, and then you're going to lose games you shouldn't. That's the reality that is the NFL. So while I am disappointed, Marcus Mariota had that fumble at the end, but I'm not going to knock on him a little bit too much, because the person who gave up that sack was Brian Schwenk, and he was substituting for the injured Quinton Spain. Injuries played a little bit of a part in this game. Losing Parrish Cox midway hurt a little bit, only because Bryce McCain sucks. But it is becoming increasingly obvious that Tennessee, as their first 2 picks in the draft, need to get a wide receiver and a cornerback. Period. If they pick any other position player, I might be a little upset. But let's get on to it. First game, and I'm just gonna might as well start go right into it. Jaguars at Titans. Like I said, I'm picking the Titans to win this game based on trends and what I think should happen versus what I think shouldn't happen. What I think should happen is Tennessee wins this game to get to 4-4. It's another home game for Tennessee. Tennessee's got a 1-3 record at home, and they're a team where a 1-4 record at home just doesn't ring right now. They don't. I mean, Tennessee's an average football team. I don't think they're gonna go to 1-4 at home. And the Jaguars, on the other hand, their only win. I mean, Jacksonville, they're tough to figure out. I put faith in them to upset the Raiders, and they completely got manhandled in that game. So I think Tennessee is gonna win this game 27-20 by way of these 2 teams will always split, and Tennessee gets the home game here. That's one of the things that's been true for a very long time now. Tennessee won't sweep Jacksonville. I don't think Jacksonville will sweep Tennessee. Also, another trend that I see, Tennessee isn't so bad that they're going to go to 0-3 in the division. Like I said, they're a mediocre team. They're not going. The Jaguars are 1-0 in the division. Tennessee's 0-2. This is the part where things are going to even out a little bit, because none of these 4 teams in the division are completely separated from one another in terms of talent, in terms of skill, in terms of what their final record's going to end up as. I don't see the Jags going to 2-0 in the South, and I don't see the Titans dropping to 0-3 in the South, based on the fact that these are mediocre teams. So things are going to even out eventually. That's what I think. So 1-2 in the division, and the Jags 1-1 in the division sounds more right. And then throw in the fact this is a home game for Tennessee. Thursday Night Football. We lost to the Jaguars Thursday Night Football last year. I think Tennessee wins, and you know what? If they don't win, that's no skin off my bones or my back, whatever the hell that phrase is. Because in the reality of the situation is Tennessee will be 3-5, and guess what? 3-5 is still better than 3-13. Tennessee's going to win their fair share of games this year. They're going to win 3 or 4 more games. I'll be shocked if we win more than that. But we have 9 games left. Going 3-6 or 4-5 in that stretch would be considered solid improvements. So Tennessee wins 27-20 over Jacksonville. Next up, and okay, let me just address this too real quick. This is a tricky week because a lot of teams on the road are favorites. You go through the schedule, the only teams that are favored at home are Tennessee, Cincinnati, Denver, Dallas, and Atlanta. And that Falcons game, they play Green Bay, so are they really favored to win? They play the Packers, who just finished walloping Chicago, and they seem to have found their offense. So in the grand scheme of things, you have 4 clear favorites for home teams, and you can't even say the Cowboys are that much favorited over the Eagles, who looked solid last week. So, and then you look at the away games. You got the Chiefs at the Colts. Kansas City should win. Raiders at Bucks. Raiders should win. Seahawks at Saints. Seahawks should win. Lions at Texans. Lions are projected to win. Jets at Browns. Jets projected to win. Patriots at Bills. Patriots going to win. Cardinals at Panthers. Arizona's the favorite. Vikings, Bears. Minnesota's the favorite. This is a weird week. And I think it's too weird because I don't see home teams going 4-9 or 5-8 this week. So I think we're going to see a couple home team upsets. That being said, I think the Bengals take care of business against the Redskins, and I think Cincinnati gets to 4-4. Just think of it this way. If Cincinnati... no, never mind. The Steelers and Ravens both have a bye this week. I was going to say, if Pittsburgh and Baltimore played each other and the Ravens won and the Bengals won, then all 3 teams there would be deadlocked at 4-4. But I think the Bengals win. I think they beat the Redskins by a score of 24-16. Washington, plot back down to earth a little bit. I don't think Washington's going to make the playoffs. I don't think a lot of these NFC teams are going to make the playoffs. As good as their records are, the NFC looks solid this year. I mean, the Giants are in last place in the East, and they're 4-3. That's unheard of. Bengals win. Next up, we got the Chiefs at the Colts. This is where I am picking one of the few upsets this week. I'm going with Indianapolis at home against Kansas City, only because I can't really trust Kansas City right now. I know they're on a 2-game winning streak, but just thinking about the way they looked against Pittsburgh and against Houston, and this just seems like another one of those games. Plus, Andrew Luck's had his number against Kansas City. So I think Indianapolis at home gets the win. I don't think the Colts... Have the Colts won a home game yet? Yeah, they did. They beat the Chargers. Yeah, they've got a couple under their belt. I think the Colts get the win here against Kansas City. 30-23. Kansas City won't go away quietly. And I don't foresee an AFC West with a 6-2, 6-2, and a 5-2 team. So one of these teams has to start losing a little bit, and I think it could be Kansas City. Next up, we got the Raiders at the Bucks. I thought about picking Tampa here because of how good they played last week, but then I remember they played the 49ers, and now they get the other team from the Bay, Oakland. Oakland should go into Tampa and get the win. The Buccaneers, the only reason they won last week was because they had a bye and they played an inferior opponent, a much inferior opponent. So I think the Raiders will get the win 31-17 over Tampa. The Raiders are solid. That I will say. They get the 6-2 on the year here. Next up, we got the Seahawks at the Saints. This is another upset I'm picking. I am going with New Orleans at home. The Saints have been okay, and it's not like the Seahawks have a tremendously solid offense. Oh, excuse me, I'm tired. Seattle will put up points in this game, that being said. But I know the Seahawks defense is good, but they're built to play a team like the Cardinals. The Saints, that's a different story. That's a different team. And I think the Saints are due a win against these guys. So I think New Orleans gets the win here. 24-21 over the Seahawks. That is my upset of the week. Next game, we got the Lions at the Texans. Did you see how the Texans looked this past Monday night? My shout out goes to Oren. I don't know why I call you Oren, but go follow Oren Greenberg. He's a good guy, and he tried arguing with me that. And this is a little knock on him. We argued a little bit as to he thought that Brock Osweiler was better than Marcus Mariota. I shut that shit down, just like Negan did. If you watch The Walking Dead, rest in peace. But Chris Carter, that shout out's for you too. But anyways, I posted a picture of the Brock Osweiler fumble as he was throwing the ball, and I just captioned it. It was like, you think this guy is better than Mariota? And I mean, we put up all the stats beforehand and all that stuff, but that just sealed it. And it was all in fun. It was all in good fun. I didn't care. I was screwing around. So that being said, Houston, no, they're gonna put up more points against the Lions than they did against Denver. But I think that the Lions are playing pretty good football right now, and I think Detroit here gets the win 27-19 over Houston. Brock Osweiler is not the answer. Next up, we got the Jets at Cleveland. I almost picked the Browns. I want to pick Cleveland, but I can't. They're going to win a game at some point, I know. But against the Jets and the Brown killer, Ryan Fitzpatrick himself, he doesn't lose to Cleveland. Ryan Fitzpatrick plays very well against the Browns, as do probably most of the quarterbacks in the league. But his stats are a little surprising. Go look them up. I don't have the time nor the energy to do so myself, so stop being lazy and do it yourself. Jets, I think, go into Cleveland and they get the win 25-22 in overtime. It's going to be one of those kind of games. I say that a lot. I say a lot. It's a terrible habit. I don't rehearse when I go into these videos. I just fire away. So, okay. Next up, we got the Patriots at the Bills. I said in week 4 that the Patriots are guaranteed a victory in their next matchup against Buffalo, and I'm not going back on that. The Patriots will win this game. They will not get swept by Buffalo. Tom Brady won't allow that. I think the New England Patriots win this game 34-17 over Buffalo. I know the Bills have looked pretty good despite their gaffe against the Dolphins, but New England won't get swept by Buffalo. So there's that. Next up, wow, there are not a lot of games this week, are there? All right. Anyways, we have the rematch of the NFC Championship game last year. We have the Cardinals traveling to Carolina to play the Panthers. And I'm picking the Cardinals in this one. I think Carson Palmer redeems himself. Maybe some of that has to do with the fact that the Panthers no longer have Josh Norman in their secondary. So the Cardinals are going to put up points here. More points than they did in the championship game, that's for sure. And then I wanted to pick the Panthers. I've said this about every team, too, every home team. I've thought about picking every home team this week. Not gonna lie, except for Buffalo. But the Panthers I'm sending the Panthers to 1-6. What am I doing? That's one side of my brain is telling me that. They're like, Keith, what are you doing sending the Panthers to 1-6 on the year? On a 5-game losing streak. I mean, it's hard to believe. But I can't go against Arizona with the way they're playing right now. They're playing like they revived their season. They're 2-0-1 in their last 3 games. And Arizona, keep an eye out for them. Next up, we got the Chargers at the Broncos. Denver will not get swept by the San Diego Chargers, so I think Denver gets this game. I think the Broncos take this game by a score of 26-20. The Chargers played tough. The Chargers had an incredible comeback against Atlanta last week. Oh my goodness, I did not see that one coming. That being said, Denver, a lot of this it's like checks and balances. If you get a team that is not nearly as talented as another team in a division, and the less talented team wins, you can almost guarantee that the team won't let that happen again. The better team. That's one of these. I don't think the Broncos are going to get swept by San Diego. I know sweeps happen in the division, and I know I say that a lot, and I acknowledge it, but not against the defending Super Bowl champs. Next up, we got the Packers at the Falcons. You know what? I gotta go with Green Bay. With the way they looked, it seems like they found that offense against Chicago. And I know it was Chicago, but Atlanta coming back down to earth a little bit. Oh, it's like 11:30 here. Don't bust my chops. So, yeah, I think the Packers, they're on extra rest. Atlanta's coming off a meltdown. I know they're at home again, but I think Green Bay gets the win here. They got to keep pace with Minnesota somehow. And then next up, we got the night game. The Sunday night game is the Eagles at the Cowboys. Dallas. Oh. Yeah, I'll send the Cowboys to 6-1. I'll do that. I can buy it. The Eagles coming back down to earth. You knew it was coming. I thought they lost. For a split second, I thought the Eagles lost last week against Minnesota. And then as soon as I said that, I remembered, wait, shit. They beat the Vikings. What are you talking about coming back to earth? Go home, Keith. You're drunk. Alright, that makes this game a little more interesting. I don't know what I'm thinking, guys. I'm exhausted. I'm ready for bed. So, Dallas gets to 6-1. The Eagles, I know, are 4-2. I know they just beat the Vikings. But I think the Cowboys are just playing too good football right now. Ezekiel Elliott is playing better than I thought he would. I got to give him credit. I am an Ohio State fan, and I know he was good in Ohio State, but you have to earn your dues in the NFL before I start calling you the solid player. And he has earned it. So I think Dallas gets the win 30-20 over the Eagles. That brings us to our final game. The Vikings at the Bears. I think Minnesota goes into Chicago and takes out their anger on losing to the Eagles. Out on the Bears. 21-6 over Chicago. The Bears have Jay Cutler starting. That's the last thing Bears fans want to see. Brian Hoyer was better for them than Jay Cutler is. So, yeah. Those are my picks. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. 13 games this week. Wow, this is going to be a sad week. A little bit. Very few games to keep up on. But, like I said, those are my picks. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys all next time.